Every crisis presents an opportunity. Who is benefiting from this one? Is it a clutch of private companies in America? Is it the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner? Has Kushner created a medical cartel? Is this group profiteering from this pandemic? We'll take up all these questions. This story is about a public-private partnership in America. It's called Project Airbridge. 6 American distributors are part of it. The US government funds the air transport, the air bridge. And these 6 companies procure supplies from around the world, stuff like masks and personal protection equipment. So let me tell you how this program works. Shipping giants like FedEx and UPS are used to transport goods. 6 medical distributors procure the supplies. They are Medline, Cardinal Health, McKesson, Henry Schein, and Owens & Minor. You may not have heard these names, but they are called the Big 6 because they represent more than 90% of the medical supply chain. The US government, medical distributors and shipping companies have an agreement. Once they get the medical supplies, these companies divide every shipment into 2. One half has to be sold in government-designated hotspots. So the government decides where the supplies go. What about the second half? The companies get to keep it. These companies can sell the second half of medical supplies as they deem fit. Let me repeat, they're selling these supplies, not donating them. So they get to keep the profits. Now, on paper, this looks like a great arrangement. If the supplies were to come by ship, they would take many more days to reach. Doctors around the world desperately need supplies. Air transportation is a no-brainer. But here's what's wrong about Kushner's Project Airbridge. No one knows how the US government is spending its money, how the supplies are being distributed, or how much the private sector is earning through this agreement. There was no tender, there was no bidding. Smaller companies were not invited. These firms were handpicked. Why just them? The Democrats are demanding answers. They want to carry out an audit. 2 Democratic leaders have now written to the suppliers. They're requesting details about their participation in the Kushner program. The White House has not offered any financial accounting of this program, but the Trump administration and Donald Trump himself never miss an opportunity to praise it. The US president has repeatedly hailed his son-in-law for this effort. The United States government is aggressively promoting it too. A search on YouTube throws up 3 results. The first 2 videos are from US government agencies. The third one is from the White House. The US has spent more than $60 million on this program so far. $60 million. More than 700 million pairs of gloves. 71 million surgical masks. 10 million surgical gowns, 2 million thermometers, more than 7 lakh masks. All of this has been flown in. But these supplies have not solved the problem of shortage. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has repeatedly complained about the lack of supplies. Earlier this week, he said that the US cannot depend on China. He described the shortages as a national security issue.
I mean, and nothing works unless... Step 1 is you have to have the PPE. That we have to go to China for the PPE? I mean, think about that. You couldn't even get it in this nation. We started making our own in the state. But that's a national security issue to me. Yeah, you have to be able to get masks and gowns and whatever medical equipment you need so this nation can run a healthcare system in the middle of an emergency.
The Democrats are stepping up the pressure on the Trump administration. Politics aside, here's the thing. Desperate times call for desperate measures. You cannot wait for long-drawn tenders. Agreed, you need supplies urgently. But when you put your son-in-law in charge of managing the biggest ever health crisis in your country, a son-in-law who has no proven record of having done something like this, then the son-in-law ropes in big companies at whim. And even after everything, the problem of shortage is not being addressed, then something is not right. This isn't the last you've heard of Project Airbridge.